Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Electro Ninja's Lab. We are doing another nerd chat, and I am here with my fellow host.
I'm Jack.
And today, I thought we would discuss Minecraft, and more specifically, the future of Minecraft. So, for those of you who have not been keeping up with Minecraft, Minecraft has been doing what they're calling a drop system. Basically, there have been two drops so far, with a third one coming later this year. Most likely by the end, possibly by the end of the month, but maybe as of October, at the latest. I could see it happening. Um, and these drops have been really freaking cool. For one, we had the spring drop, which had like all of the variant versions of pigs and cows and sheep. Um, the uh, summer update was the Happy Ghast update, which was so much fun. Getting to play around with the Happy Ghast and all of the fun details with that. And then the next one is going to be the Copper update, where they are adding like a whole bunch more uses for copper. They are adding copper torches, copper lights, or copper lanterns. Sorry, they're adding the copper golem, and much more. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they added like copper versions of pretty much everything that you can do currently with iron, but maybe like just slightly less powerful. So I could see like a copper cauldron and a copper, or that might just be a copper sink. We could see a copper, I don't know, freaking maybe like a
Pickaxe.
cooking update. I don't know, something along those lines. I could see a lot of things happening with the copper update that they haven't really revealed yet. I'm not going to go too much in detail with all of that, but instead I want to talk about the future of Minecraft, and specifically because we know that at some point we're going to be having another Minecraft Live. We don't know when. However, there have been rumors that it will be happening sometime in September. Most likely, it will be on a weekend. Um, I think there's a good chance that it could be the 20th or the 27th. Either one would make a lot of sense to me. Um, they've done they've aligned with pretty much us doing nerd chats in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if before long we find out. Oh yeah, it's coming. Um, I think if they are going to be smart, they will probably not do it on the 27th, just due to the fact that the 25th through the 28th is TGS. So they're probably not going to do anything with that. But I think that there is a decent possibility that we will be seeing Minecraft 2.0 actually happen next year. Um, and
That would be cool.
it would be really cool. Which, here's basically what I think is going to happen with why they haven't done 2.0 ever, as well as why they might do it finally. For one, there are so many features that they've been talking about adding, like they said quite a while ago that every single biome vote loser was at some point going to get added. And on top of that, they have also said they've kind of confirmed, thanks to especially with the Copper Golem update, that mob vote losers could also be joining the game. Whether when exactly that could happen, no idea. Um, but that's like some of the big things. There's a lot of people who are wanting an end update. There are a lot of people who are wanting the entire overworld to be completely reworked and made better. Um, there have been signs that they will be doing certain things. There have, especially after uh, the April Fool's update I don't think it was this last one, but the previous one with the freaking the potato update. that one specifically made me think, oh, they might do a cooking update before too long, as well as possibly several other updates could happen where we actually get more food options that will do various different things. And if they've been working on all of these different things, why have we not been getting too much information about them? I think that the high likelihood is that they're going to do a big one. And a big update would be fantastic because they have been thinking as well for a while that, especially with the drop system, that things just weren't really working well with the previous system, where we had for basically we've been in 1.21 for a while now, and people have been thinking, oh, where's 1.22? And instead we've been getting these smaller updates to the point where I think now we're on like 1.21.100 or some shit like that. I think that might be Bedrock, but it is at that point. But the regular but like Java is a different situation. Let me make 100% certain of that. So yeah, latest release is 1.20 1.8 for Java, and then on Bedrock it doesn't say. But I think it's like 1.21.100 or some shit like that. So they're trying. So they have been saying that they want to get something more in line so that the release will make sense before too long. And I would not be surprised if what they do to combat this is to start doing the 2.0, as well as possibly at some point before too long 3.0, 4.0, blah 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 blah. I don't think that we're going to be seeing 3.0 or 4.0 or anything like that for a long while, but I think that with 2.0 they could do a lot of different things. They could add a new they could basically have it be a massive overhaul of the game. And that's basically what I'm imagining they will do with a 2.0. Massive amounts of changes to the biomes, bringing life into it, and they may also use that moment to bring vibrant visuals over to Java, and possibly to fully align Java and Bedrock so that they are one-to-one exactly the same. Because at this point, Java and Bedrock are very, very different. They're less different than they used to be, but there are certain things that are still very that are Bedrock, and there are certain things that are only in Java. For one, vibrant visuals is only on Bedrock. In Bedrock, you can move certain things that you can't move in Java, and how exactly they're going to work that out, I have no idea. There's too much complicatedness. But I do think that it is definitely a possibility that they will fully implement it so that Java and Bedrock will work properly. I also think that there is a decent possibility that Java might finally be able to access the Education Edition features. Because there are certain things with Education Edition that I think would be really good for map makers. As well as stuff that's in Bedrock that is not quite in Java. That would be fantastic for map makers and mod creators and all sorts of things like that. So I think it's a reasonable assumption to make that before long, Java and Bedrock will finally be combined into one.
That makes sense.
Exactly how that's going to work, I have no idea. I think that there's a good possibility that we'll be seeing stuff like the stuff that's in the marketplace might get added to Java as some feature. I don't know how they would do it. Because add-ons are weird. Add-ons are very weird. I don't know. There's that's basically their microtransaction thing right now, and a lot of it is mods, a lot of it is like texture packs and stuff like that. And I don't really know how to feel about a lot of the Bedrock stuff. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, like there's like a whole bunch of mob vote losers that people have been wanting for a while. Obviously, the Moobloom is like the big one, but there are like a lot of other ones. Let me actually go ahead and look at this really quick. So where was it? Unimplemented. Here we go. So there was the Barnacle, the Crab, the Glare, the Shade, the Iceologer, the Meerkat, the Moobloom, the Ostrich, the Penguin, the Rascal, the Termite, the Great Hunger, the Tough Golem, the Vulture, and the Wildfire. I don't actually know what the Shade is. Oh, sorry. Shade was something else. That was a different... So Shade is not actually something that we're concerned about. But a lot of these mobs people would love to see. I personally, I would love to see the Crab and lots, specifically small mobs that something similar to that of Fireflies, where it's not necessarily a mob, but rather a particle effect around like a bush. Like there could be a butterfly bush. There could be a fly flower or whatever. I don't know what they would I don't think that they would necessarily call it by its name, but the corpse flower, I don't think they would call it a corpse flower, but I think that there could be something like that would basically have flies around it, or you could have just like a new way to basically hold things. Another thing that they've talked about is that there needs to be a better way to handle when a player dies, because a lot of people have a lot of issues where suddenly they lose everything they had because they died and they couldn't get back to their to where they died fast enough. So they've been thinking about how do we get that to properly be implemented. They've also mentioned like a whole bunch of other weird mobs that they've never really properly gotten into the game yet. From a beaver, a burning spider, cobble creeper, giant spider, glowworm, goblin, lava zombie, a musician, reindeer, soulfire blaze, snails, trolls. All of those things would be really freaking interesting, I think. And bring more.
I would agree with that.
Bring more life into Minecraft. I would love to just see a massive mob update, and I think like especially with the mentioned features. If I here, let me go into here to just like some of the things that they've mentioned. So obviously there's the votes. There's let me see here. Here we go. We know that at some point they wanted to do something more stuff with the birch forest. They wanted to do more colored planks. There have been thoughts of them being more slabs, vertical slabs, which people have been begging for forever. I would not be surprised if before too long they added more inventory space or things like more inventory space. Like, let's say, for an example, if they added like a quiver, that could be something that you put on your back or something, and they could actually add like a whole bunch of back slots or pockets, or like, could you imagine if there was like a slot on your inventory that would allow you to hold bundles just without actually them taking up a slot in your inventory? I think
that would be nice.
That would be very nice. And I think that alone would probably make make exploring way freaking easier. Also, another thing that I personally I would like to see this more stack space. So currently 64 blocks is becoming less and less effective. Because you can, if you go for a mining session, there's a good chance that your inventory will be filled with cobblestone. Like like if you go until your pickaxe breaks, you can get a good even with just an iron pickaxe, that's like 5 stacks maybe more, of cobblestone. So I could say maybe certain blocks, especially the blocks that you get a lot of, so dirt, cobblestone, um, other stone variants, maybe double their amount, the number of items that you could have in the stack. Um, there have been multiple mobs that people have been talking about, um, and yeah, basically, I want to see more life be brought into Minecraft. Like birds, we have one. Well, we have two birds at this point in time: chickens and parrots. Give us more birds. I'd love that. What do you think?
I would agree with that. Well, no, honestly, because it does feel kind of funny to have like no birds.
Yeah,
Like birds are such an integral part of reality. I feel like
yeah,
that
like
to have none in Minecraft is just weird. Like we have a bunch of other animals running around. Why not birds?
yeah, and most of the animals that we do have, especially the peaceful ones, are just are farm animals. Um, like if I go, like, yeah, let's go. Let's look really quick at the passive mobs. So, grant now there are a lot more, but they're like the armadillo, the axolotl, the bat, um, the camel, though, and cats and dogs. Those aren't really farm animals, but like chickens, most fish are can be are kind of a farm animal. Um, Horses are farm animals. Frogs aren't really, but you do have a lot of people do have frog farms at this point, just due to what they are. Glow squids and regular squids are just some are some life. But yeah, sheep, mushrooms, pigs, rabbits. Those are all farm animals. uh, like I said, there are a few that are not. Like the sniffer isn't technically a farm animal, but it is. It does. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, most like I would say about half of the mobs currently in Minecraft are farm animals, or they are animals that you will farm for various reasons. Um, I think the only mobs that do not have anything to do with a farm that is probably bats, camels, and that's it. Well, and obviously cats and dogs, but cats and dogs you still want to breed. You want to breed a whole bunch. Um, but like parrots, you can get feathers from. Pufferfish, all of the fish you can get a whole bunch of stuff for. Striders are fantastic for walking along the lava, especially in the Nether. Um, but yeah, most of the mobs are somehow integrated into some form of farm. But and then there's bats, which are just there to breathe, to give life into the world. So give us like um, insects. I think would be very fun. Um, of course, like we have the fireflies. So why not ants or flies or butterflies or various different bugs that will just like be around certain objects. Um, I could see like a ton of different blocks becoming basically mob, like not necessarily mobs, but like breathing life into it. Like the termites, I expect when they get implemented, termite mounds will probably be a particle type dealy bob, where they'll basically be going around said object. Maybe you place uh, wood nearby, they'll like destroy it or something. Um, I don't know exactly how that would work, but or maybe if you put like logs nearby, they will auto strip them or something like that. Um, which would be that would be an interesting way to handle that. Um, but yeah, lots of different possibilities. Um, they could do. I don't know. alternate versions of hostile mobs. Like for example, I've said this already. I've said it multiple times. I would love there to be alternate versions of Creakings. Um, and like I don't necessarily like some could be peaceful, some could be neutral. I think actually neutral mobs, neutral dryads or something like that would make the most sense. And basically they would work like the Creaking, where except that maybe they would only attack you if you chop down too many trees without replanting them. I don't know exactly how that would work, but that could be something. That could be something where maybe like, if you chop down a whole bunch of trees, and then for whatever reason your it's I don't know, maybe like for every 3 wood blocks that you chopped that you break, if you don't place a if you don't place a sapling for every 3 wooden blocks you place, maybe a dryad, maybe a version of the Creaking will spawn, and like maybe you need to chop down more trees in order for it to actually attack you. But every time that you place a sapling, then you will then it will counteract it, and they'll despawn or something. I don't know. That's just like me spitballing for now. But yeah, different things like that. There's a lot with that. But yeah, we've seen also that there are several mobs that are in other versions of Minecraft that we've just never gotten to see. Such as, especially in Dungeons, Legends, and Earth, there were a shit ton of mobs in all of those that have just never made their way into Minecraft. Most of the Earth mobs were just variants of pigs, sheep, cows, and chickens, and rabbits. Sorry, there were a few others. There's more like it, but yeah, if they, I think that they could very easily add a lot of those mobs, especially since Earth is gone, and fully just completely gone. They could, I think that if they want to still use the mobs and other things that they had in that in Earth, they could absolutely do something with that. Especially since it didn't go anywhere; it was just completely destroyed. So I don't know. And then, like I said, Dungeons and Legends, they have a shit ton of mobs. Like most of the mobs in Legends are either ones that are already in Minecraft, or they are golems. Which I would like to see more. I for sure would love to see some golems being available. Um, and more piglins and stuff like that. I would not honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if they added golems. A lot of golems actually, especially with the copper golem and the tough golem being integrated into the full game. I could see that happening. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, what are some mobs that some features that you would like to see? I've talked a lot about different things. Hopefully, that's kind of gotten you some ideas.
You know, I haven't played Minecraft in so long, I don't have any ideas.
Okay. Like, let's go down some of the lists. Would you want to see any specific types of birds?
Crows. I would love to see crows.
Fair. Yeah, that would be fun. How about various different mammals?
Um, it'd be really cool if they did manatees.
That would be fun. That would actually be really fun to see. Oh, that I don't think that they would do it, but I would love to see that. That is a good option. Also, Speaking of whales, could you imagine whales being implemented?
That would be so dope.
Like they could be a rare spawn. They have to have like a large amount of water available so that they can spawn, and maybe they don't drop anything, and maybe like one thing that I would love to see them do is maybe as to kind of help people feel to stop uh, a lot of whale harvesting and stuff like that. They could do something where if you kill a whale, maybe all villagers across the world suddenly do not want to trade with you.
I like that idea.
I think that that would be a fantastic idea. Um, and they could actually they could implement a lot of different endangered mobs, where and if you do and if even if there's even one of their deaths in your statistics, villagers will not trade with you anymore. Maybe it would have like a cooldown or something like that where it will where eventually villagers will trade with you again, but it's like significantly higher rates, and you have to like befriend them again. You have to basically make amends for what you did. Like, I don't know how the hell they would implement that, but yeah, I would love to just see a whale just like coming up above the water and then going back down, and they just travel the oceans, and that's all they do. That I think that would be freaking fantastic. And yeah, and other various mobs I think would be really fun to see. Um, More aquatic mobs, especially ones that are both hostile and non-hostile ones. I would love to see those happening. Um, I'd also kind of like to see a shark, um, but specifically, I would like it to be a neutral mob. So, I don't think that so they won't attack you, right off the bat. Um, they will only attack you if one, you attack them, or two, um, you are bleeding. So, which will basically be like you took damage while you're underwater. They will basically start coming to you. Um, and maybe they'll just attack drowned or other hostile mobs. Maybe not guardians. They might avoid guardians, but I could see like they'll just attack drowned because they're bleeding. And they basically smell like good fish, and then they'll attack fish all the time. Um, Whenever and I think that they should still be like a less common mob. Um,
Yeah.
and maybe I don't know. I don't think that they would necessarily do like a they will I don't know. I don't know if they would add anything where they would be I don't know. I don't know if they would be something I don't think they would be something that you could tame. I don't see them being something that they would give you something that they could eat that you could eat, or anything that you could farm from them, as basically a reason do not actually kill these things. I think compared to like whales, where there should be a penalty if you do kill a whale. I do think that that is something that seems reasonable to me. I don't necessarily think that there will be too much of a penalty for killing sharks, but they shouldn't drop anything. Similar to bats, I think that like bats would be a good example for a lot of different mobs. Um, they just don't drop anything, so there's really no reason to go after them. Um, I don't know. So yeah, like whales. I think that there should be a penalty besides just they don't drop anything. But sharks, I feel like sometimes they'll just attack. They will attack you. They're rare. I think that they should absolutely be rare. But like I said, they'll attack drowned, um, and they'll attack drowned and fish. I think that those two things they will always be attacking, and then maybe not they'll maybe they won't attack every single time, and then if you attack them or you get hit by a drowned, then they will attack you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a reasonable thing. I know that they're not really wanting to add sharks or anything like hostile real animals. They've said that they don't want to do that. Obviously, there are certain ones that are in Minecraft already, but most of the hostile mobs, the only hostile mob that I think is even slightly real is the spider, but even that's neutral. Pretty much anything that is a hostile real world mob that will attack you is actually a neutral mob. Like llamas will attack you if you hit them. Spiders will attack you if it's dark. Polar bears will attack you if you get too close to their cubs. So I think that could be a reasonable thing for them to do for just regular bears. Certain pandas will attack you if you hit them. It's not many. It's only like one specific one that will attack you. But yeah, they could add bears. They could add all sorts of mobs. And I think that they should be mobs that I think adding neutral mobs would be a good idea as, hey, these things won't just directly attack you in Minecraft, but be aware of them because they are things that will hurt you in real life. I think that would be reasonable.
Yeah, I like the idea of bears.
Yeah. Bears and sharks. Because technically most animals, even the ones that will actually really badly hurt you, they won't attack you just because. And it's kind of something that, it's a misconception that a lot of, I feel like, that's one of the things that I feel like they shouldn't specifically say, oh, we don't want to add any hostile real-life mobs. But yeah. So I think that they could add them at some point, but it's probably going to be a while before that happens. But I don't know. Also, more monsters. I would like to see more monsters. Like, what's something that you would like to see as just a regular monster that, like, from any version of from any media?
Unicorns.
Yes. Oh, we're evil. Oh my gosh. I for sure would love to see wild unicorns from Skandar. I don't think it would, if they added unicorns, it probably wouldn't be Skandar unicorns. It would
Oh, definitely not.
They would be peaceful, for sure. I think that, if they do add unicorns, and the same thing goes for if they add Pegasi, or is it Pegasuses? How is that? How would that go?
I think it's Pegasi.
Okay. So yeah, if they add Pegasi or they add unicorns, I think that they would be, they're not going to attack you, but they would be rare as hell, and they would be harder to tame than regular horses. So maybe like you have to do like some specific thing, and it wouldn't be like you can just jump on. I don't think it would be something where you. I think that if they are not tamed, they would just kick you off. They're not even going to let you tame them the same way as a horse would. I think that you would have to show them that that you are friendly for both of those. I think something similar to cat taming, where they will try to avoid you if they see you. But if you give them something that they like, then they will slowly approach you. And then once you see the hearts, then you're able to ride them. I think that would be so. Yeah, something like something similar to the way that you tame a cat. But yeah, but other fantasy creatures, something that would be hostile. What would be something that you would like to see?
Um, owl bears.
Ooh, that is a good one. That would actually be so freaking cool if they did that. And it could that could be actually the way that they implement bears, because they yeah, if they don't want to implement full on bears, um, because they don't want to add more peaceful mobs or more hostile mobs that are animals that are real animals. What they could absolutely do something where it will be a mythical creature that is just very similar to a real animal. Oh, that would be really cool. You know, speaking of, actually, that is actually an interesting idea. I think that they should add more mounts. Um, things that you can tame, like mounts that you can tame. That some of them could be neutral, some of them could be peaceful, some of them could be hostile. Like just for an example, um, let's say hoglins. What if you could tame a hoglin, and then it would just be a mount for the Nether? And it would I'd say probably it could be like a similar level of that of a horse, um, and then it would attack piglins for you as when you're riding it. And the same thing goes for a Ravager. I could see like you defeat the pillager that is riding the Ravager, and then you could do something to befriend it, to befriend the Ravager. Because from what we can, one of the things that people have kind of assumed when it comes to Ravagers is that they used to be villagers. Um, so they could do some more lore stuff where you can befriend them, and maybe it will change their eye color or something. I don't know. Maybe their horns will be less pronounced or something like that. Um, and it will yeah, you could befriend hostile mobs. And another option that I'm just spitballing is, what about wargs? They've
Ooh.
mentioned goblins. Now give us wargs as well, or direwolves, or whatever you want to call them. And like goblins will ride them, and then after you kill a goblin, maybe you can give it like some meat. Maybe you can give the warg meat, um, and it will allow you to tame it. Or maybe it could just be bones like a regular wolf.
Maybe.
I don't know exactly how they would do that, but I would love to see something like that. Um, Also, uh, what if we did squids, like giant squids, and that could be another reason
I
to,
have said that before, and I am so down for it.
yeah, giant squids and sperm whales, and they'll fight when they come across each other. They're both rare mobs, and they'll fight each other. And sperm whales will not attack the player, but giant squids will. So you can team up with maybe you could team up with a sperm whale to kill a giant squid. If you like come across them in combat, and then it will befriend you, and maybe it will allow you to ride. Maybe then you could ride the whale. I don't know if that's necessarily the
Wow.
best
No, that'd
idea.
be cool.
It would be cool. I also don't think it would happen.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Um, Another thing that I would like to see, and I know that this is probably not. This is probably a long way off if this is going to happen, but movable, buildable structures.
Like Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, but also like trains, boats. Um, there could be like I'm like imagining like three different blocks that you could like attack that you could basically put onto certain there could be there could be more than that, but that's just like the start of it. And there's like all of these different details that you have to do, and maybe part of that would be how they implement moving structures from like movable items. So like currently, uh, furnaces and chests are not movable in Java, but they are movable in Bedrock. So what they could do is they could implement blocks that are movable, and they will like you can put them onto if you put these put movable versions of blocks onto a boat or onto a train or some other version. Flying machines exist in Minecraft, so we don't need to worry about those. But you could implement those types of items and be able to use them more effectively. I don't know. Um, People have been wanting trains forever. They've been wanting a way to connect, especially minecarts. People have been wanting to be able to connect minecarts forever. So I could see that them allowing more connectability with minecarts, but also I could see them doing like a full-on train system. Would be freaking fantastic. Personally, if it was just say, if they got the people who make the create mod, and just ask them, hey, let's work together and implement the create mod in a bit more Minecrafty way, I would be completely down for that. I am dead serious. So
Agreed.
you've seen some of the create mod, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So the create mod is actually like a few versions back. I don't even think they have so I don't think that they have even the variants of the I think it was like 1.21 was when they last updated that. So there's a chance they're already in talks with them. The create mod people are already in talks with Mojang to actually fully implement the game or fully implement the mod. But yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to say at this point in time what they could do. But yeah. But I mean, the thing is, especially with a lot of mods creators have actually started working for Mojang. Take for example, the person who made the Aether mod. He currently works for Mojang, so we could see the Aether at some point.
That would be cool.
It would be very cool, and that would be another thing that I would like to see in Minecraft 2.0 is a high up area. And I've kind of been thinking this for a while, is that there should be a way there should be a higher area in Minecraft that maybe you can't see it from the surface, but maybe like they could create the Aether portal, and then if you fall, then you will eventually reach the overworld again. I don't know exactly how they would play with that, but there were a lot of the Aether mod stuff was implemented during the potato update, but also in the vote update, I believe. Let me see here. Let me see if I can actually find this information so that it's proper. April Fool's stuff. Here we go. April Fool's jokes. So, let's go to the most recent stuff. So, there really wasn't too much when it came to the most recent one. Where was that? This is launcher stuff. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They did some weird stuff with that. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. So there was a lot. That was mostly like dimensional control and stuff like that. Which I think what they did with Craftmine could be something that would be really interesting for them to implement into more of a better way to create a Minecraft world. I think that there could be a lot of things with that. I'm not gonna guess on that. But the potato update had so much stuff, uh, with like new structures. Obviously, the potato dimension was basically the Aether dimension, um, but with way more potatoes. There was cooking involved. There was a whole bunch of new blocks, which I would love to see a lot of these things. Um, and then when we had that was also, I think that was also when we got a use, quote unquote, for the fletching table. But yeah, um, there was the voting update, which had a whole bunch of really cool stuff. Um, I'm not gonna go into all of that stuff because it was really complicated. But another thing that they did have a moon, which people have been asking for the ability to go to the moon for a long time. Which I don't necessarily think that they're going to do that, but I think it could be funny. But yeah,
Fair.
there was the Infinity update, which had like um, all of the different dimensions. That really wasn't too much. Um, the software update, yeah. So there were a lot of the earlier ones. Either they've stuff from their joke update has been implemented in a better way, or it's just dumb stuff that we probably will never see.
Fair.
Um, but there are certain things from Infinity. One block at no, one block at a time didn't have anything interesting. But Infinity could be no, wait, Infinity has actually been fully implemented. A lot of things from that have been implemented. So we don't need to worry about that. A and B, sorry, A or B update. That one, a lot of things haven't been added for that yet, and a lot of things haven't been added for the potato update, and a lot of things haven't been added for Craft Mine. So I could see certain things with all of those being implemented more fully in the next update. And I think we'll probably have more to talk about when it comes to this stuff after the next Minecraft Live, which should happen sometime this month. Exactly when, we don't know. But yeah, I'd like to see a lot of these different just weird shit. Make Minecraft feel more alive, because it has been feeling more and more alive lately. And I think that they could absolutely do some more stuff with that. More mobs, because that are just not even necessarily useful. I could see deer, reindeer, as being like something that you could actually like you could hunt them, and get venison. Um, I think a lot of people would probably be thrilled with that. Um, you could, I don't know, all sorts of different things. Do you have anything else that you want to mention before we call this nerd chat?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Uh, so yeah, I think there is a good chance that we will be seeing some really fun things over the next while, and it's something that we will probably be talking a lot more about in the coming weeks. But obviously, next week we're talking Skandar because Jack's reading it finally. So
Finally, it's been 2 days.
I know. Well, it's been a week almost. But
No,
yeah.
it came out on Tuesday, bro.
Yes. But yes, Jack is reading Skandar, so we will definitely be discussing Skandar soon. That nerd chat might actually be an extra one that we get out earlier, depending on how fast Jack reads it. But yeah, and then at some point, I don't know when, we will be getting we will probably be keeping an eye out. I especially will be keeping an eye out for one, the Minecraft Live, because that should be coming soon. Most likely they will be announcing it within the next few weeks, within the next week or two. So Minecraft Live, will probably get that revealed when it's happening, and that will probably be replacing a nerd chat. And then once frickin' Nintendo Direct happens, That's gonna be fantastic. I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do for that. And then, so yeah, so let me see here. So the 13th, for sure, unless we decide to do it early, or sorry, the 14th. Sorry, that will be when we get the Skandar Nerd Chat. Um, I think the 21st has a chance of not happening because that could be Minecraft Live, depending on what they do. Um, and at some point soon, we're gonna have the Nintendo Direct. So yeah. But the 28th is probably gonna be stuff about video games. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's nerd chat. I have been Electro Ninja. He's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on.